Most people think change requires a big moment, a new year, a major decision, a sudden burst of motivation, but real change rarely works that way. Your mindset is shaped quietly by what you do every day, by the habits you repeat without thinking. Right now, your mind is already wired by habits. Some help you grow, some keep you stuck. The good news is this: your brain can change. It can rewire itself at any age. This audiobook is not about force or pressure. It is about small, positive habits that slowly reshape how you think, feel, and act. Habits that reduce stress. Habits that build focus. Habits that strengthen confidence and clarity. As you move through these chapters, you will learn how simple daily actions can create powerful mental shifts over time. If you want to continue this journey and build a stronger mindset, step by step, subscribe to this channel now. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Starting your day with intentional awareness. Most people begin their day on autopilot. An alarm rings, eyes open, the mind rushes forward. Thoughts appear instantly. Tasks, worries, messages, deadlines. Before the body fully wakes up, the mind is already running. This habit shapes your mindset more than you realize. The way you start your day trains your brain. It tells your mind what to expect. It sets the emotional tone. When mornings feel rushed, the mind learns urgency. When mornings feel chaotic, the mind learns stress. Over time, this becomes normal. Intentional awareness changes this pattern. Intentional awareness means choosing how you enter the day, not forcing positivity, not ignoring reality, simply noticing. This habit is small, but it is powerful. It begins before you touch your phone, before you react to the world. It begins with attention. When you wake up, your brain is in a flexible state. It is open. It is receptive. What you feed it in this moment matters. Most people feed it noise, notifications, news, other people's urgency. This trains the brain to react. Intentional awareness trains the brain to observe. Observation creates space. Space creates choice. Choice is the foundation of mindset change. The habit starts with one simple action: pause. When you wake up, pause for a moment. Do not rush to stand. Do not reach for the phone. Notice your breathing. You do not need to change it. Just notice it. This simple act sends a signal to your nervous system. The signal is safety. Safety calms the mind. When the mind feels safe, it becomes clear. Clarity changes how thoughts appear. Instead of being pulled into thoughts, you see them. You may notice worries. You may notice plans. You may notice resistance. This is normal. Intentional awareness does not remove thoughts. It changes your relationship with them. You stop believing every thought immediately. You stop reacting automatically. This is how rewiring begins. Rewiring does not happen through force. It happens through repetition. Each morning you pause. You weaken autopilot. Each morning you observe. You strengthen awareness. Awareness is a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Another part of this habit is naming experience. You can name how you feel. You might feel tired. You might feel calm. You might feel tense. Naming emotion creates distance. Distance reduces intensity. When emotion is unnamed, it controls behavior. When it is named, it becomes information. Information is easier to work with. This habit teaches your brain a new pattern. Instead of reacting, you acknowledge. Acknowledgement prevents escalation. Most stress escalates because it is unconscious. Intentional awareness brings it into light. Light softens patterns. Another important part of this habit is intention. After noticing, you choose one intention for the day. Not a goal, not a long plan. One quality. You might choose patience. You might choose focus. You might choose kindness. This intention becomes a mental anchor. Throughout the day, your mind drifts. That is normal. When it does, you return to the intention. Return rewires attention. Attention shapes mindset. Over time, your brain learns association. Morning awareness equals calm. Intention equals direction. This association changes default thinking. Another reason this habit is powerful is that it works with biology. Your brain is most suggestible in the morning. Neural pathways are more open. What you practice then leaves deeper marks. This is why mornings matter. You do not need long sessions. You need consistency. Even 1 minute changes patterns. 1 minute of awareness practice daily beats an hour done rarely. Consistency trains the brain. Intensity overwhelms it. Another challenge people face is resistance. The mind may say there is no time. This is a common thought. The habit is not about adding time. It is about changing approach. You already spend time waking up. You are simply bringing awareness to it. Another fear is doing it wrong. There is no wrong. If you notice distraction, that is awareness. If you forget one day, that is normal. Judgment blocks habit formation. Gentleness supports it. This habit also improves emotional regulation. When you start the day grounded, reactions soften. Small frustrations stay small. Big challenges feel manageable. This is not because problems disappear. It is because your response changes. Response shapes experience. Another benefit is reduced mental noise. Awareness slows thought loops. Thoughts become fewer. They become clearer. Clear thoughts support better decisions. Better decisions reinforce positive mindset. This habit also builds self-trust. You learn that you can pause. You learn that you can choose. Choice builds confidence. Confidence supports growth. Another important effect is presence. Presence anchors you in now. Most anxiety lives in the future. Most regret lives in the past. Presence reduces both. Reduced anxiety frees mental energy. Mental energy supports creativity. Creativity supports problem solving. Another reason this habit rewires mindset is repetition. Under calm conditions, the brain learns best when calm. Stress locks patterns in place. Calm allows change. By starting the day calmly, you open the door to new wiring. Another part of intentional awareness is body connection. Notice physical sensations. Feel the bed. Feel your breath. Feel your posture. Body awareness grounds attention. Grounded attention reduces rumination. Rumination feeds negative mindset. This habit breaks that cycle early. Another challenge is impatience. People want fast results. Mindset change is gradual. You may not feel different immediately, but the brain is learning. Learning happens quietly. Trust the process. Another benefit of this habit is emotional literacy. You become better at noticing shifts. You catch stress earlier. You catch frustration sooner. Early awareness allows early correction. Correction prevents buildup. Another important effect is intentional choice of input. After awareness, you choose what enters your mind. You may still check your phone, but you do it consciously. Conscious choice changes impact. The same input feels different when chosen. Choice reduces overwhelm. Another reason this habit matters in 2026 is speed. Life is fast. Information is constant. Without awareness, the mind fragments. Fragmentation weakens focus. Intentional awareness strengthens focus. Focus supports growth in any area. Another benefit is resilience. When days start grounded, setbacks feel less personal. You recover faster. Recovery builds confidence. Another challenge is boredom. The mind may feel restless. Restlessness is part of rewiring. Do not escape it immediately. Sit with it briefly. Tolerance builds mental strength. Another important aspect is kindness toward yourself. This habit is not discipline. It is care. Care creates safety. Safety allows the brain to change. Another benefit is alignment. You begin the day aligned with values, not demands. Alignment reduces inner conflict. Inner conflict drains energy. Energy saved supports positive habits later. This habit also supports other habits. When the mind is calm, choices improve. Better choices reinforce better habits. This creates upward momentum. Momentum feels motivating. Motivation grows from success, not force. Another reason this habit is powerful is that it interrupts negative loops. Negative loops often start early. One thought triggers another. Awareness breaks the chain. Breaking chains rewires networks. Neural networks change through interruption and repetition. This habit provides both. Another challenge is remembering to practice. Link it to waking up. Waking up is the cue. Cue consistency builds habit strength. Another benefit is reduced reactivity to external stress. news, messages, deadlines. They still exist, but they arrive to a calmer mind. Calm mind responds better. Another important effect is sense of agency. Agency means feeling in control of response. Agency reduces helplessness. Helplessness fuels negative mindset. This habit rebuilds agency daily. Another truth is that intentional awareness is simple, not easy. Simple means clear. Not easy means it requires repetition. Repetition builds structure. Structure supports mindset change. Another benefit is emotional balance. You start the day centered. Centered days feel more stable. Stability supports confidence. Another challenge is missing days. Missing does not erase progress. Return gently. Returning strengthens habit identity. Identity matters. You become someone who begins the day intentionally. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes mindset. Another important idea is that this habit is private. No one sees it. Private habits shape inner life. Inner life shapes outer results. Another benefit is clarity of values. In quiet moments, values surface. Values guide decisions. Guided decisions feel right. Another reason this habit matters is longevity. It is sustainable. It does not rely on motivation spikes. It relies on routine. Routine is reliable. Another effect is reduced emotional fatigue. When reactions soften, energy lasts longer. Energy supports consistency. Consistency builds mindset change. Another challenge is distraction. Distraction will appear. Notice it. Return attention. Returning is the practice. Another benefit is calm confidence. Not loud, not forced. Calm confidence is stable. Stable confidence lasts. Another important idea is that intentional awareness is cumulative. Each morning adds a small layer. Layers build structure. Structure supports long-term change. Another benefit is emotional safety. You start the day feeling safe in your body. Safety reduces fear-based thinking. Fear-based thinking limits growth. Another challenge is skepticism. You may doubt impact. Practice anyway. Experience teaches better than theory. Another benefit is improved self-relationship. You begin the day with yourself. This builds trust. Our trust changes mindset. Another important truth is that mindset is not changed by thinking alone. It is changed by attention. Where attention goes, the brain follows. This habit trains attention. Training attention rewires mindset. Over time, mornings feel different. Days feel steadier. Reactions soften. Choices improve. This is not magic. It is repetition. It is awareness. It is intention. This first habit lays the foundation. Without it, other habits struggle. With it, change becomes easier. This is where rewiring begins. Quietly, gently, daily. Chapter 2. Controlling what you feed your mind. Your mind is always learning, even when you are not trying. Every image you see, every sound you hear, every word you read, all of it leaves a trace. Over time, these traces shape how you think. They shape what feels normal. They shape what feels possible. This is why mental input matters so much. Most people focus on changing thoughts. They try to think positive. They try to force better thinking. But thoughts come from somewhere. They come from what you feed your mind. If you constantly feed your mind stress, your thoughts will feel heavy. If you constantly feed your mind fear, your thoughts will feel anxious. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, your thoughts will reflect it. This is not weakness. It is biology. Your brain adapts to patterns. What you consume repeatedly becomes familiar. What becomes familiar feels true. This is how mindset forms. In today's world, mental input is endless. News, social media, videos, opinions. Most of it arrives without invitation. The mind absorbs it anyway. This habit is about taking back control. Controlling what you feed your mind does not mean avoiding reality. It means choosing exposure. Choice changes impact. When input is chosen, it feels lighter. When it is forced, it feels heavy. This difference matters. The brain reacts differently to choice. Choice activates agency. Agency reduces stress. Stress weakens mindset change. Agency strengthens it. The first step is awareness. Notice what you consume daily. Notice patterns. Do you start the day with alarming news? Do you scroll mindlessly at night? Do you absorb other people's anxiety without realizing it? These patterns are invisible until you look. Looking is the beginning of control. Once you notice, you can adjust. Adjustment does not require extremes. You do not need to cut everything out. You need balance. Balance allows sustainability. One powerful shift is timing. When you consume matters as much as what you consume. The brain is sensitive in the morning. It is also sensitive before sleep. Heavy input during these times leaves deeper marks. When you start the day with fear-based input, your mind stays alert all day. When you end the day with overstimulation, your mind struggles to rest. This affects mindset deeply. Protecting these windows is powerful. You can delay certain inputs. You can replace them with calmer ones. Replacement works better than restriction. If you remove something without replacing it, the habit returns. Replacement builds new pathways. Another important idea is emotional nutrition. Just like food affects the body, content affects the mind. Some content energizes, some content drains. Pay attention to how you feel after consuming something. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel numb? Your feelings are data. Data guides better choices. Over time, you learn what supports your mindset. This habit is not about perfection. It is about direction. Small shifts, repeated daily change. Mental tone. Another powerful concept is mental diet. You do not eat junk food all day and expect energy. The same applies to the mind. Constant negative input leads to mental fatigue. Fatigue weakens resilience. Resilience is needed for positive change. When you improve mental input, resilience improves. Another challenge is habit strength. Some inputs feel addictive. This is not accidental. Platforms are designed to capture attention. Knowing this reduces self-blame. This habit is not about willpower. It is about environment. Changing environment changes behavior. You can make better input easier to access. You can make draining input slightly harder. Small friction changes habits. Another helpful idea is intentional substitution. Replace passive consumption with active engagement. Active engagement keeps the mind awake. Passive consumption numbs it. Numb minds struggle to rewire. Engaged minds adapt faster. Another benefit of controlling input is emotional stability. When input is calmer, emotional swings reduce. Reduced swings improve decision-making. Better decisions reinforce positive mindset. Another important effect is focus. Too much input fragments attention. Fragmented attention weakens clarity. Clarity supports confidence and direction. This habit restores clarity. Another challenge is fear of missing out. People worry they will miss important information. Most information repeats. Most urgency is manufactured. Missing some input rarely harms you. Excess input often does. Confidence grows when you trust this. Another important idea is quality over quantity. A few meaningful inputs matter more than many shallow ones. Depth nourishes the mind. Surface noise drains it. Another benefit of this habit is reduced comparison. Many inputs trigger comparison. Comparison damages mindset. Reducing exposure reduces comparison pressure. Another challenge is boredom. When stimulation reduces, boredom appears. Boredom is not a problem. It is space. Space allows reflection. Reflection supports growth. Another important idea is intentional learning. Choose content that builds skills, that expands understanding. Learning input strengthens mindset. Another benefit is emotional boundaries. You are not required to carry the emotional weight of the world. Choosing input protects mental health. Protection supports long-term growth. Another challenge is consistency. Some days will be harder. Return gently. Gentle return builds habit identity. Another benefit is sleep quality. Calmer input improves rest. Rest supports mindset change. Another important idea is noticing internal input. Thoughts are also input. This habit prepares you to notice them too. External awareness leads to internal awareness. Another truth is that controlling input does not isolate you, it clarifies you. Clarity improves relationships. Another benefit is increased optimism, not forced optimism, grounded optimism. Grounded optimism is stable. Another challenge is guilt. You may feel guilty reducing certain inputs. Release guilt. You are allowed to protect your mind. Another important idea is values alignment. Choose inputs aligned with who you want to become. Alignment strengthens identity. Identity shapes mindset. Another benefit is emotional regulation. Reduced stimulation calms the nervous system. Calm supports rewiring. Another challenge is habit stacking. Pair this habit with existing routines. This strengthens consistency. Another truth is that this habit compounds. Each day of better input improves the next day. Momentum builds quietly. Another benefit is mental clarity in 2026's fast world. Speed will increase. Those who manage input will thrive. Another important idea is agency. You are not helpless. You can choose. Choice rewires mindset. This habit teaches your brain that you are in control of what enters. Control reduces fear. Reduced fear opens space for growth. This is how mindset shifts. Not through force, through awareness, through choice, through repetition. This habit builds a cleaner mental environment. And in a clean environment, positive habits grow faster. Chapter 3. Practicing gratitude without forcing positivity. Many people misunderstand gratitude. They think it means pretending everything is fine. They think it means ignoring pain or difficulty. This misunderstanding creates resistance. Real gratitude is not denial. It is awareness. It is the practice of noticing what is present without dismissing what is hard. This distinction matters. When gratitude is forced, it feels fake. When it is practiced gently, it feels grounding. Mindset rewiring depends on this difference. The brain does not respond well to lies. It responds to truth. Forced positivity creates inner conflict. Conflict increases stress. Stress locks old patterns in place. Gentle gratitude reduces stress. Reduced stress allows change. This habit begins with honesty. You do not need to feel grateful for everything. You only need to notice something. Something neutral, something stable. It might be a quiet moment, a warm drink, a familiar place. These small notices matter. The brain learns through repetition. Small repetitions reshape networks. Gratitude works by shifting attention, not by changing reality. Attention shapes experience. When attention is always on what is missing, the mind feels lacking. When attention includes what is present, the mind feels supported. Support changes mindset. Another reason gratitude is powerful is contrast. It reminds the brain that not everything is wrong. This does not erase problems. It balances them. Balance reduces overwhelm. Overwhelm blocks growth. This habit teaches balance. Another challenge is emotional resistance. Some days, gratitude feels impossible. On those days, do not search for joy. Search for neutrality. Neutral moments are easier to accept. The floor supporting your feet. The breath moving in your body. These are facts. Facts feel safe. Safety calms the nervous system. Calm allows gratitude to appear naturally. Another important idea is consistency over intensity. Writing long lists is not required. One notice is enough. Consistency rewires more effectively than bursts. This habit works best when simple. Another benefit of gratitude is emotional regulation. Noticing stability reduces emotional spikes. Reduced spikes improve clarity. Clarity supports better choices. Better choices reinforce positive mindset. Another reason gratitude rewires the brain is dopamine regulation. Gratitude activates reward pathways. Gentle activation prevents dependency. This creates sustainable well-being. Another challenge is comparison. People compare gratitude practices. Comparison undermines authenticity. Your practice does not need to look like anyone else's. Authenticity supports mindset change. Another important idea is timing. Gratitude can be practiced anytime. Morning builds tone. Night builds closure. Both are powerful. Choose what fits. Fit supports consistency. Another benefit is reduced rumination. Gratitude interrupts repetitive negative thinking. Interruption weakens loops. Weak loops lose influence. Another challenge is trauma or deep pain. Gratitude does not replace healing. It coexists with it. You can feel pain and still notice small supports. Both can be true. This dual awareness strengthens resilience. Another important idea is embodiment. Feel gratitude in the body. Notice warmth. Notice ease. Embodied awareness deepens impact. Another benefit is improved relationships. Grateful people notice others. Noticing strengthens connection. Connection supports mindset growth. Another challenge is expecting immediate mood change. Gratitude works subtly. It shifts baseline, not moments. Baseline changes last longer. Another important idea is language. You do not need dramatic words. Simple noticing is enough. Another benefit is resilience during difficulty. Gratitude reminds you of support during stress. Support reduces despair. Another challenge is habit drift. You may forget. Return gently. Return reinforces identity. Another important idea is pairing gratitude with routine. Routine anchors habit. Anchoring improves consistency. Another benefit is self-compassion. Gratitude softens self-criticism. Softened criticism improves motivation. Another challenge is emotional numbness. Gratitude can feel distant. Allow numbness. Notice without judgment. Judgment blocks awareness. Another important idea is micro-gratitude. Tiny notices accumulate. Accumulation rewires mindset. Another benefit is grounding. Gratitude anchors you in the present. Presence reduces anxiety. Another challenge is negativity bias. The brain favors threat. Gratitude retrains focus. Retraining takes time. Patience matters. Another important idea is writing versus thinking. Both work. Choose what feels natural. Natural habits last. Another benefit is improved sleep. Gratitude calms mind at night. Calm improves rest. Rest supports mindset change. Another challenge is guilt. Some feel guilty feeling grateful during hardship. Release guilt. Gratitude does not betray pain. It supports survival. Another important idea is flexibility. Gratitude practice can change. Allow evolution. Evolution sustains interest. Another benefit is meaning. Noticing meaning strengthens purpose. Purpose supports positive mindset. Another challenge is distraction. Distraction appears. Notice it. Return attention. Returning is the practice. Another important idea is internal safety. Gratitude builds safety inside. Safety allows growth. Another benefit is reduced helplessness. Noticing what works builds agency. Agency strengthens mindset. Another challenge is overthinking practice. Keep it simple. Simple practices stick. Another important idea is trust. Trust the process. Subtle change is real change. Another benefit is emotional balance. Gratitude stabilizes mood. Stability supports clarity. Another challenge is skepticism. Practice anyway. Experience teaches. Another important idea is self-relationship. Gratitude improves how you relate to yourself. Self-relationship shapes mindset. Another benefit is hope. Not false hope. Grounded hope. Grounded hope endures. Another challenge is remembering why you practice. You practice to train attention. Attention shapes reality. Another important idea is acceptance. Accept the day as it is. Acceptance reduces resistance. Reduced resistance supports peace. Another benefit is flexibility of mindset. Gratitude softens rigidity. Softness allows adaptation. Another challenge is fear of complacency. Gratitude does not stop growth. It supports sustainable growth. Another important idea is noticing growth itself. Gratitude for progress reinforces habit. Reinforcement strengthens mindset. Another benefit is calm confidence. Gratitude stabilizes identity. Stable identity supports confidence. Another challenge is routine fatigue. Refresh gently. Gently change wording or timing. Another important idea is compassion for others. Gratitude opens heart. Open heart improves communication. Another benefit is long-term rewiring. Gratitude changes default focus. Default focus shapes life experience. This habit does not demand happiness. It invites awareness. Awareness reshapes mindset. Over time, this practice trains your brain to notice support alongside challenge. That balance changes how you move through life. Chapter 4. Building focus through single-task attention. Focus is not something you either have or do not have. It is something you train. Most people believe their focus is broken. They blame technology. They blame busy schedules. They blame their minds. But focus has always worked the same way. The brain was not designed to do many things at once. It was designed to move attention from one thing to another. Multitasking feels productive, but it quietly drains mental energy. When attention is split, nothing receives full presence. This creates fatigue. Fatigue weakens mindset. Single-task attention restores energy. Single-task attention means doing one thing at a time with full awareness. It does not mean doing only one thing all day. It means choosing where attention goes in each moment. Choice matters. When attention is chosen, the mind feels calmer. When attention is scattered, the mind feels stressed. Stress reduces clarity. Clarity supports positive mindset. This habit begins with noticing how often you split attention. You may read while checking messages. You may listen while planning your response. You may work while thinking about something else. These patterns feel normal. They are common, but common does not mean helpful. Each time attention splits, the brain switches context. Context switching costs energy. Over time, this creates mental exhaustion. Exhaustion makes everything feel harder. Single-task attention reverses this. When you focus on one task, the brain enters a calmer rhythm. Thoughts slow down. Breathing deepens. This state supports learning and creativity. It also feels satisfying. Satisfaction reinforces habit. The first step is starting small. Choose one simple task each day to do with full attention. It could be eating. It could be walking. It could be writing a short message. During that task, notice when the mind drifts. Drifting is normal. Gently bring attention back. This return is the practice. Returning trains focus more than staying focused. Each return strengthens attention control. Another important idea is removing unnecessary stimulation. Background noise fragments attention. Silence or soft sound supports focus. You do not need perfect conditions. You need fewer distractions. Reducing one distraction helps. Another benefit of single-task attention is emotional regulation. When attention is focused, emotions feel steadier. Scattered attention amplifies anxiety. Focus grounds the mind. Grounded mind handles stress better. Another challenge is impatience. The mind wants novelty. Novelty is rewarding. Single-task attention feels slow at first. Slowness is part of rewiring. Allow it. Over time, slowness becomes depth. Depth feels fulfilling. Another important idea is intentional transitions. Before switching tasks, pause briefly. This pause resets attention. Reset prevents mental residue. Mental residue clouds focus. Clear transitions support clarity. Another benefit of this habit is improved memory. Focused attention strengthens memory encoding. Better memory reduces mental strain. Reduced strain improves mindset. Another challenge is self-judgment. You may notice frequent distraction. Do not judge. Judgment tightens attention. Gentle awareness relaxes it. Another important idea is linking focus to values. Why does focus matter to you? Meaning increases motivation. Motivation supports consistency. Another benefit is increased confidence. Completing tasks with focus builds trust in yourself. Self-trust supports positive mindset. Another challenge is external interruptions. They will happen. Respond calmly. Return attention afterward. Return is always possible. Another important idea is focus during conversations. Single-task attention improves listening. Listening improves connection. Connection improves emotional well-being. Another benefit is reduced overwhelm. When you do one thing, the mind feels manageable. Manageable tasks reduce stress. Another challenge is fear of missing out. Focus may feel limiting, but depth often brings more satisfaction than breadth. Satisfaction sustains motivation. Another important idea is focus as a skill. Skills improve with practice. Expect gradual improvement. Another benefit is creative flow. Single-task attention allows flow. Flow feels energizing. Energy supports mindset change. Another challenge is digital habits. Devices compete for attention. Set boundaries gently. Small boundaries are enough. Another important idea is focus recovery. After distraction, recover calmly. Recovery builds resilience. Another benefit is improved self-discipline, not forced discipline, natural discipline from clarity. Another challenge is boredom. Boredom may appear. Boredom is a doorway. Beyond it lies deeper engagement. Another important idea is practicing focus in daily life. You do not need special sessions. Daily moments are enough. Another benefit is emotional presence. Focused attention brings you into the present. Presence reduces anxiety. Another challenge is consistency. Some days focus will be easier, some days harder. Both are normal. Return to practice. Another important idea is focus as kindness to the mind. Scattered attention is exhausting. Focus is restful. Another benefit is improved decision-making. Clear attention leads to clear choices. Clear choices support positive mindset. Another challenge is impatience for results. Trust the process. Neural change takes time. Another important idea is identity. You become someone who can focus. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes mindset. Another benefit is sense of control. Control reduces helplessness. Reduced helplessness improves mood. Another challenge is multitasking culture. Culture rewards busyness. Choose depth instead. Depth brings quality. Another important idea is noticing improvement. Notice when focus feels easier. Acknowledgement reinforces habit. Another benefit is calm confidence. Focused people feel steady. Steadiness supports confidence. Another challenge is distraction loops. Interrupt them gently. Gentle interruption works. Another important idea is single-task attention as foundation. Other habits depend on it. Without focus, habits struggle. With focus, habits stick. This habit rewires attention patterns. Attention patterns shape mindset. Over time, the mind becomes less scattered. Clarity increases. Stress decreases. This is not because life slows down. It is because your attention becomes stronger. Chapter 5. Replacing negative self-talk with honest inner dialogue. Your mind is always talking to you. Even when you are quiet, this inner voice shapes how you see yourself. It shapes how you respond to challenges. It shapes what you believe is possible. Many people think negative self-talk is motivation. They believe being hard on themselves will push them forward. But this belief creates harm. Negative self-talk does not build strength. It builds tension. Tension drains energy. When energy is low, mindset suffers. This habit is not about silencing your inner voice. It is about changing how you speak to yourself. Replacing negative self-talk begins with awareness. Most self-talk happens automatically. You do not choose it consciously. A mistake happens. The voice appears. It may say you are not good enough. It may say you always fail. It may say you should have known better. These statements feel true in the moment, but they are rarely accurate. They are habits. Habits can change. The first step is noticing tone, not words. Notice how your inner voice sounds. Is it harsh? Is it impatient? Is it absolute? Harsh tones increase stress. Stress narrows thinking. Narrow thinking limits solutions. Honest inner dialogue does the opposite. Honest dialogue is calm. It is specific. It is grounded in reality. It does not exaggerate. Instead of saying you always fail, it notices what actually happened. Instead of attacking identity, it addresses behavior. This shift matters. Identity attacks feel personal. Behavior feedback feels workable. Workable thoughts support growth. Another important idea is separating facts from interpretations. A fact is something that happened. An interpretation is the story you tell about it. Negative self-talk often confuses the two. You miss a deadline. That is a fact. You think you are lazy. That is an interpretation. Interpretations feel convincing, but they are optional. Honest inner dialogue questions interpretations. It asks what actually happened. It asks what can be done next. This questioning reduces emotional intensity. Lower intensity improves clarity. Clarity supports mindset change. Another reason negative self-talk persists is habit memory. Your brain learned these patterns early. It repeats what is familiar. Familiar does not mean helpful. Awareness interrupts familiarity. Each time you notice negative self-talk, you weaken the habit. You do not need to argue with it aggressively. You only need to notice it. Noticing creates distance. Distance reduces power. Another challenge is believing negative thoughts are protective. Some people think self-criticism prevents failure. In reality, it increases fear. Fear reduces performance. Calm self-talk improves performance. This is supported by experience. When you speak to yourself calmly, you try more. When you attack yourself, you avoid. Avoidance blocks growth. Honest inner dialogue encourages effort without pressure. Another important idea is language choice. Words matter. Words shape emotion. Replacing absolute words helps. Always, never, everyone. These words amplify negativity. Honest dialogue uses specific language. Specific language reduces overwhelm. Another benefit of honest inner dialogue is emotional regulation. When self-talk is calm, emotions stabilize. Stability supports resilience. Resilience supports mindset change. Another challenge is catching self-talk in real time. It moves fast. You may notice it after the fact. That is still progress. Late awareness still weakens patterns. Be patient. Another helpful practice is responding to self-talk as if to a friend. You would not speak harshly to a friend who made a mistake. This perspective softens tone. Soft tone reduces stress. Another important idea is validation without indulgence. You can acknowledge feelings without exaggerating them. You can say something feels hard without calling yourself weak. Validation stabilizes emotion. Stability allows constructive action. Another benefit of this habit is improved confidence. When your inner voice supports you, risk feels safer. Safe risk builds growth. Growth reinforces positive mindset. Another challenge is old beliefs. Beliefs like being bad at something. Beliefs are formed through repetition. New dialogue creates new repetition. Repetition rewires belief. Another important idea is compassion. Compassion is not excuse-making. It is realistic understanding. Understanding reduces shame. Shame blocks learning. Another benefit is reduced anxiety. Anxiety feeds on harsh self-talk. Gentle dialogue starves it. Another challenge is identity attachment. Some people identify with being critical. They believe criticism equals intelligence. This is not true. Clarity equals intelligence. Clarity comes from calm thinking. Another important idea is inner leadership. You are guiding yourself. Guides are firm but kind. Firmness without kindness creates fear. Kindness without firmness creates stagnation. Honest dialogue balances both. Another benefit is improved decision-making. Calm self-talk leads to better choices. Better choices reinforce self-trust. Another challenge is consistency. Some days the inner critic is louder. Do not fight louder. Lower your response. Calm outlasts intensity. Another important idea is curiosity. Ask why the thought appeared. Curiosity replaces judgment. Judgment tightens patterns. Curiosity loosens them. Another benefit is emotional maturity. You respond instead of react. Response builds confidence. Another challenge is expecting silence. The inner voice will not disappear. It will change tone. Tone change is success. Another important idea is noticing improvement. Notice when your inner dialogue softens. Acknowledgement reinforces change. Another benefit is long-term mindset stability. Supportive self-talk builds stable confidence. Stable confidence endures stress. Another challenge is relapse. Old patterns may return. Return to awareness. Awareness always works. Another important idea is practice during neutral moments. Do not wait for crisis. Practice when calm. Calm practice transfers to stress. Another benefit is increased motivation. Supportive dialogue encourages effort. Effort leads to growth. Another challenge is fear of becoming complacent. Kind self-talk does not reduce ambition. It supports sustainable ambition. Another important idea is self-respect. Respecting your inner world builds strength. Strength supports mindset change. Another benefit is emotional clarity. Clear self-talk clarifies feelings. Clarity reduces confusion. Another challenge is cultural conditioning. Many cultures normalize harsh self-talk. You can choose differently. Choice rewires mindset. Another important idea is identity shift. You become someone who speaks honestly to yourself. Identity guides behavior. Behavior shapes mindset. Another benefit is inner safety. Safe inner environment allows risk. Risk supports growth. Another challenge is patience. Change is gradual. Gradual change lasts. Another important idea is reinforcement. Each kind correction reinforces new pathways. Pathways strengthen with use. Another benefit is calm persistence. You keep going without burning out. Burnout weakens mindset. Another challenge is perfectionism. Release it. Honest dialogue accepts progress over perfection. Another important idea is grounding in facts. Facts stabilize thinking. Stability supports growth. Another benefit is resilience during failure. Failure becomes information. Information builds skill. Another challenge is staying present. Return to now. Now is where change happens. Replacing negative self-talk does not require silence. It requires honesty. Honesty is calm. Honesty is specific. Honesty is kind. Over time, your inner voice becomes an ally. And when your inner world supports you, your mindset rewires naturally. Chapter 6. Creating emotional balance through regular pauses. Most people live in a constant state of movement. Not just physical movement, mental movement. Thoughts jump from one thing to another. Emotions rise and fall quickly. Reactions happen before awareness appears. This constant motion creates imbalance. Emotional balance does not come from controlling feelings. It comes from creating space around them. That space is built through pauses. A pause is a short moment of awareness. It is a break in automatic reaction. Pauses may seem small, but they are powerful. They interrupt patterns. Patterns shape mindset. Most emotional reactions are learned habits. They happen quickly. They feel automatic. When you pause, you slow the process. Slowing allows choice. Choice changes outcomes. This habit is about building regular pauses into your day. Not long breaks, not dramatic changes, small pauses. Pauses that fit into real life. A pause can be one breath, one moment of stillness, one conscious stop. These moments teach your nervous system something new. They teach it that it does not need to react immediately. Immediate reaction increases stress. Delayed response increases clarity. Clarity supports emotional balance. The brain learns through repetition. Each pause strengthens a new pathway. Over time, your default response slows. Slower responses feel calmer. Calm responses protect mindset. Another important idea is that emotions are not problems. They are signals. Signals need space to be understood. Without pauses, signals turn into noise. Noise overwhelms the mind. Pauses reduce noise. Reduced noise improves regulation. Another reason pauses matter is accumulation. Stress builds when emotions are not processed. Small pauses release pressure gradually. Gradual release prevents overload. Overload leads to burnout. Burnout weakens mindset. This habit prevents that. Pauses are especially important during transitions, moving from one task to another, from work to rest, from interaction to solitude. Transitions without pauses create emotional carryover. Carryover increases tension. Pauses clear residue. Clear transitions improve balance. Another challenge is feeling too busy to pause. This thought is common. Busyness is often a signal to pause. Pauses do not waste time. They save energy. Energy supports consistency. Consistency supports mindset change. Another important idea is breathing. Breathe is the fastest pause available. You always have access to it. A slow breath resets the nervous system. Resetting reduces emotional intensity. Reduced intensity improves judgment. Judgment shapes behavior. Another benefit of pauses is self-awareness. Pausing brings attention inward. You notice how you feel before it escalates. Early noticing allows early adjustment. Adjustment prevents conflict. Another challenge is impatience. The mind wants quick resolution. Pauses feel slow. Slowness is uncomfortable at first. Discomfort signals change. Change requires tolerance. Tolerance grows with practice. Another important idea is emotional literacy. Pauses give time to name emotions. Naming creates distance. Distance reduces reactivity. Another benefit is improved relationships. Pausing before responding reduces misunderstandings. Clear responses build trust. Trust supports emotional safety. Another challenge is forgetting to pause. This is normal. Link pauses to cues.
Cues might be notifications,
Or standing up, or starting a new task. Cues trigger remembrance. Remembrance strengthens habit. Another important idea is neutrality. Pauses are neutral moments. They are not positive or negative. Neutral moments ground the nervous system. Grounded systems regulate better. Another benefit is reduced regret. Pausing prevents impulsive reactions. Impulses often create regret. Reduced regret protects confidence. Another challenge is emotional avoidance. Pauses are not avoidance. They are engagement with space. Space allows emotions to move. Suppressed emotions stay stuck. Acknowledged emotions shift. Another important idea is rhythm. Life has natural rhythm. Pauses restore rhythm. Without rhythm, life feels chaotic. Another benefit is mental clarity. Pauses clear mental fog. Clear mind supports focus. Focus supports positive habits. Another challenge is believing pauses require special settings. They do not. They can happen anywhere. Standing in line, before speaking, after reading a message. Integration matters. Another important idea is patience with progress. Pauses may not feel effective immediately. Trust repetition. Repetition rewires patterns. Another benefit is reduced anxiety. Anxiety thrives on speed. Pauses slow speed. Slowing reduces anxiety. Another challenge is emotional intensity. Some emotions feel overwhelming. Pauses do not eliminate intensity. They create safety around it. Safety allows emotion to pass. Another important idea is self-respect. Pausing is a form of respect for your inner world. Respect strengthens self-trust. Another benefit is resilience. Pauses help you recover faster. Recovery builds strength. Another challenge is external pressure. Others may expect quick responses. You are allowed to pause. Pausing shows maturity. Another important idea is practicing during calm moments. Practice pauses when calm. Skills learned in calm transfer to stress. Another benefit is identity shift. You become someone who responds thoughtfully. Identity supports behavior. Behavior shapes mindset. Another challenge is impatience with others. Pauses increase empathy. Empathy softens reactions. Another important idea is emotional containment. Pauses hold emotion without spilling. Containment supports clarity. Another benefit is reduced mental fatigue. Constant reaction is tiring. Pauses rest the mind. Another challenge is consistency. Small daily pauses matter more than rare long ones. Another important idea is trust. Trust that nothing will collapse if you pause. This trust reduces fear. Another benefit is calm confidence. Pauses signal inner stability. Stability feels confident. Another challenge is distraction. Notice distraction. Pause again. Returning is the practice. Another important idea is emotional balance is dynamic. It shifts. Pauses help you adjust. Another benefit is long-term mindset resilience. Balanced emotions support sustainable growth. Another challenge is expecting perfection. Balance does not mean no emotion. It means regulation. Another important idea is kindness. Pauses allow kindness towards self. Kindness supports healing. Another benefit is clarity under pressure. Pauses protect clarity. Another challenge is habit fatigue. Keep pauses simple. Simplicity sustains practice. Another important idea is integration with other habits. Pauses support all habits. They are connectors. Another benefit is inner calm. Calm is learned. Pauses teach calm. Another challenge is fear of missing something. You miss less when you pause. You see more clearly. Another important idea is choice. Pauses return choice to you. Choice rewires mindset. Over time, regular pauses change how you experience life. You respond instead of react. You regulate instead of suppress. Emotions still arise, but they pass more smoothly. This balance does not come from control. It comes from space. Space created by pauses, and those pauses quietly rewire your mindset. Chapter 7. Strengthening your mind through consistent physical movement. The mind and the body are not separate. They are connected at every level. How you move your body affects how you think. How you think affects how your body feels. Many people try to change mindset using thoughts alone. They read, they reflect, they analyze. These things help, but they are not complete. Movement is one of the fastest ways to influence mindset. Not extreme movement, not punishment. Consistent, gentle movement. The brain evolved alongside the body. Movement signals safety. Stillness for too long signals threat. This is why the mind feels restless when the body is inactive. Restlessness feeds negative thinking. Movement releases it. Physical movement changes brain chemistry. It increases blood flow. It releases calming chemicals. It reduces stress hormones. These changes support positive mindset naturally. This habit is not about fitness goals. It is about mental clarity. You do not need intensity. You need regularity. Regular movement teaches the brain a new baseline. The baseline becomes calmer, more stable, more resilient. Another important idea is accessibility. Movement should feel possible. Walking, stretching, gentle exercise. When movement feels achievable, it becomes consistent. Consistency matters more than effort. Consistency rewires neural pathways. Another reason movement helps mindset is rhythm. Movement creates rhythm in the nervous system. Rhythm calms the brain. Calm improves emotional regulation. Another benefit of movement is emotional processing. Emotions live in the body. When the body moves, emotions move too. Stuck emotions loosened emotions reduce mental heaviness. Another challenge people face is resistance. The mind says there is no energy. This often means the body needs movement. Movement creates energy. It does not require it. Another important idea is pairing movement with awareness. Notice how you feel before moving. Notice how you feel after. This awareness builds motivation naturally. Another benefit is improved self-trust. Each time you move consistently, you keep a promise to yourself. Keeping promises builds confidence. Confidence supports mindset change. Another challenge is comparison. Comparing movement routines creates pressure. Pressure kills consistency. Choose what fits your life. Another important idea is identity. You become someone who moves regularly. Identity reinforces behavior. Behavior shapes mindset. Another benefit is stress release. Movement discharges tension. Tension clouds thinking. Clear thinking supports positive habits. Another challenge is overdoing it. Too much intensity creates burnout. Burnout damages mindset. Gentle consistency protects it. Another important idea is mood regulation. Movement stabilizes mood. Stable mood supports clarity. Another benefit is sleep quality. Movement improves rest. Rest strengthens mindset. Another challenge is boredom. Boredom may appear, allow it. Boredom often passes into calm. Another important idea is movement as self-respect. You care for your body. Care supports mental safety. Another benefit is focus improvement. Movement sharpens attention. Attention supports other habits. Another challenge is scheduling. Attach movement to existing routine. Routine strengthens habit. Another important idea is flexibility. Movement can change with seasons. Adaptation sustains practice. Another benefit is resilience. Movement trains recovery. Recovery supports growth. Another challenge is inconsistency. Missed days happen. Return gently. Return strengthens habit identity. Another important idea is presence. Movement brings you into the body. Presence reduces anxiety. Another benefit is emotional confidence. You feel capable in your body. Capability supports mental strength. Another challenge is impatience. Results are subtle. Trust accumulation. Another important idea is movement as grounding. Grounded body supports grounded mind. Another benefit is long-term brain health. Movement protects cognitive function. Another challenge is motivation. Let movement be simple. Simplicity sustains. Another important idea is enjoyment. Choose movement you enjoy. Enjoyment reinforces consistency. Another benefit is release of mental loops. Movement interrupts rumination. Interruption rewires patterns. Another challenge is external expectations. Ignore them. This habit is for your mind. Another important idea is compassion. Listen to your body. Compassion prevents injury. Another benefit is emotional resilience. Movement builds tolerance for discomfort. Tolerance supports growth. Another challenge is starting. Start small. Small starts grow. Another important idea is awareness of progress. Notice improved mood. Acknowledgement reinforces habit. Another benefit is calm energy, not restless energy. Calm energy supports focus. Another challenge is maintaining balance. Movement should support life, not consume it. Another important idea is movement as medicine. Medicine works when taken regularly. Another benefit is clarity under pressure. Movement stabilizes nervous system. Another challenge is distraction. Move without devices. Sometimes presence deepens effect. Another important idea is trust in the body. The body knows how to regulate. Movement helps it do so. Another benefit is long-term mindset stability. Stable body supports stable mind. This habit does not require perfection. It requires repetition, gentle movement, regular rhythm. Over time, your mind feels lighter. Your emotions feel steadier. Your resilience grows. This is not because problems disappear. It is because your system becomes stronger. Movement quietly rewires mindset. Chapter 8. Training your mind through intentional stillness. In a world that never stops moving, stillness feels unfamiliar. Many people avoid it without realizing why. Stillness removes distraction. When distraction fades, the mind becomes visible. This visibility can feel uncomfortable, but it is also where change begins. Intentional stillness is not doing nothing. It is choosing to stop long enough to notice. Notice thoughts. Notice emotions. Notice sensations. This habit rewires mindset by slowing internal speed. Speed creates stress. Slowness creates clarity. Clarity allows choice. Most mental patterns repeat because there is no pause between them. Thought follows thought. Reaction follows reaction. Stillness inserts a pause. That pause weakens automatic loops. Automatic loops shape mindset. Breaking them changes direction. Intentional stillness does not require long sessions. It can be brief. 1 minute, 2 minutes. What matters is regularity. Regular stillness trains the nervous system to tolerate quiet. Tolerance reduces anxiety. Anxiety feeds negative thinking. Reduced anxiety supports positive mindset. Another important idea is permission. Many people feel guilty being still. They believe productivity defines worth. This belief creates constant tension. Stillness challenges this belief gently. It teaches that presence has value. Value does not require motion. Another benefit of stillness is emotional awareness. When you stop, emotions surface. Not to overwhelm you, to inform you. Emotions want recognition. Recognition reduces intensity. Another challenge is restlessness. The mind resists stillness. Resistance is normal. Stillness reveals habit. Habit reveals what needs care. Another important idea is breath as anchor. Breath connects mind and body. Following breath stabilizes attention. Stabilized attention calms thoughts. Another benefit is improved focus. Stillness trains sustained attention. Attention supports other habits. Another challenge is boredom. Boredom often appears first. If you stay, boredom fades. Behind it is calm. Another important idea is safety. Stillness teaches the body it is safe to rest. Safety allows healing. Another benefit is clarity of values. In quiet moments, priorities emerge. Another challenge is overthinking practice. Keep it simple. Sit, breathe, notice. Simplicity sustains habit. Another important idea is integration. Stillness does not replace action. It improves it. Actions taken after stillness are clearer. Another benefit is emotional balance. Stillness smooths emotional spikes. Another challenge is consistency. Link stillness to routine. Routine anchors practice. Another important idea is compassion. Stillness is gentle. Gentleness supports long-term change. Another benefit is self-trust. You learn you can be with yourself. This builds confidence. Another challenge is impatience. Results are subtle. Subtle change lasts. Another important idea is letting thoughts pass. You do not need to control them. Letting go reduces struggle. Another benefit is resilience. Stillness teaches calm under discomfort. Another challenge is distraction. Notice distraction. Returning is success. Another important idea is mental clarity. Clarity supports better decisions. Another benefit is reduced emotional fatigue. Rested mind handles stress better. Another challenge is external noise. Noise does not prevent stillness. Attention creates stillness. Another important idea is acceptance. Accept the moment as it is. Acceptance reduces resistance. Another benefit is presence. Presence reduces anxiety. Another challenge is fear of facing thoughts. Thoughts lose power when observed. Observation creates distance. Another important idea is identity. You become someone who can pause. Identity supports mindset change. Another benefit is grounding. Stillness grounds attention. Another challenge is habit drift. Return gently. Gentle return builds consistency. Another important idea is mental space. Space allows creativity. Creativity supports growth. Another benefit is emotional safety. Safe mind rewires faster. Another challenge is judging progress. Do not measure. Experience. Another important idea is simplicity over complexity. Complex practices discourage consistency. Simple stillness works. Another benefit is calm confidence. Stillness builds inner stability. Another challenge is external expectations. Stillness is private. Privacy protects habit. Another important idea is time perception. Stillness stretches time. Slower time reduces stress. Another benefit is improved listening. Stillness improves listening to others. Another challenge is discomfort. Discomfort passes. Stay gently. Another important idea is awareness of breath cycles. Breath rhythm calms the mind. Another benefit is improved emotional intelligence. Awareness increases understanding. Another challenge is forgetting to practice. Use reminders gently. Another important idea is stillness as foundation. All habits rest on it. Another benefit is long-term mindset stability. Stable mind supports positive change. Intentional stillness does not demand effort. It asks for allowance, allowing quiet, allowing presence. Over time, this habit retrains your mind to slow down without fear. Slower mind, clearer thoughts, balanced emotions. This is how stillness rewires mindset. Chapter 9: Designing your environment to support positive habits. Your mindset does not exist in isolation. It responds to what surrounds you. The space you live in, the objects you see, the sounds you hear, all of these quietly influence how you think and act. Many people blame themselves when habits fail. They believe they lack discipline. They believe they lack motivation. Often, the real issue is environment. Environment shapes behavior more than willpower. When the environment supports a habit, the habit feels easier. When the environment fights a habit, the habit feels exhausting. Mindset rewiring becomes sustainable when you design your environment with intention. This habit is not about perfection. It is about alignment. Alignment means your surroundings make the right choices easier. The brain looks for cues. It responds automatically to what it sees. If distraction is visible, attention drifts. If calm is visible, attention settles. This is not weakness. It is how the brain works. The first step is noticing your current environment. Look at the spaces where you spend most of your time. Notice what they invite you to do. Do they invite focus or distraction? Do they invite calm or urgency? This observation is not judgment. It is information. Information allows change. One powerful idea is reducing friction for positive habits. Friction is anything that makes a habit harder. If something feels hard, the brain avoids it. You can reduce friction by making positive habits visible and accessible. Visibility matters. What you see regularly shapes what you remember to do. When a habit cue is visible, action follows more naturally. Another important idea is increasing friction for negative habits. This does not require force. Small obstacles are enough. When a habit requires extra steps, the brain hesitates. Hesitation creates choice. Choice creates opportunity for change. Another benefit of environmental design is reduced decision fatigue. When the environment guides behavior, you make fewer decisions. Fewer decisions reduce mental load. Reduced mental load improves consistency. Consistency rewires mindset. Another challenge is emotional attachment to environment. People resist change because spaces feel familiar. Familiar does not always mean supportive. You can keep familiarity while improving function. Small adjustments work. Another important idea is simplicity. Clutter creates mental noise. Noise drains focus. Reducing clutter creates clarity. Clarity supports calm thinking. Another benefit is emotional regulation. Calm environments soothe the nervous system. Soothed systems adapt faster. Another challenge is shared spaces. You may not control everything. Focus on what you can influence. Small personal zones matter. Another important idea is routine alignment. Design spaces to match routines. When space matches routine, habits stick. Another benefit is identity reinforcement. Your environment reflects who you are becoming. Seeing this reflection strengthens commitment. Another challenge is change resistance. Change feels uncomfortable at first. Discomfort signals growth. Allow it. Another important idea is sensory input. Light, sound, texture. These affect mood. Adjusting them subtly can shift mindset. Another benefit is reduced stress triggers. Removing constant triggers lowers baseline stress. Lower stress supports habit formation. Another challenge is perfectionism. You do not need ideal conditions. Better is enough. Another important idea is intentional cues. Place reminders gently. Reminders guide attention without pressure. Another benefit is time awareness. Environment can signal transitions. Transitions improve emotional balance. Another challenge is maintenance. Environments drift. Return periodically. Returning reinforces intention. Another important idea is compassion. Designing environment is self-care. Care builds inner safety. Safety supports rewiring. Another benefit is motivation through ease. Easy habits repeat. Repetition changes mindset. Another challenge is patience. Environmental changes work gradually. Gradual change lasts. Another important idea is adaptability. Your needs change. Allow environment to change with you. Another benefit is mental clarity. Supportive spaces free attention. Another challenge is distraction culture. Protect your space gently. Protection sustains focus. Another important idea is awareness of digital environment. Screens are environments too. Digital spaces affect mindset deeply. Choosing them wisely matters. Another benefit is emotional stability. Predictable environments reduce anxiety. Another challenge is consistency across spaces. Aim for alignment, not uniformity. Another important idea is personal meaning. Spaces should feel meaningful to you. Meaning strengthens commitment. Another benefit is reduced reliance on motivation. Environment carries part of the effort. Another challenge is guilt about change. Release guilt. You are allowed to support yourself. Another important idea is noticing impact. Notice how small changes feel. Feeling reinforces habit. Another benefit is calm confidence. Supportive environment signals self-respect. Another challenge is overthinking design. Keep it simple. Simple systems work best. Another important idea is long-term mindset support. Environment works continuously, even when you are tired. This habit teaches your brain that growth is supported externally. Not everything depends on effort. When your environment supports you, Mindset change feels lighter, and lighter change lasts longer. Chapter 10. Becoming the person who lives these habits. Habits change behavior, but identity changes everything. The most powerful mindset shift happens when habits stop feeling like tasks and start feeling like who you are. At first, habits feel external, something you try, something you remember, something you practice. Over time, something deeper happens. You begin to see yourself differently. This chapter is about that shift. Mindset rewiring is not only about what you do, it is about who you believe you are becoming. Beliefs guide behavior. Behavior reinforces beliefs. This loop shapes your future. Many people fail to sustain positive habits because they never update identity. They act differently, but they still see themselves the same way. When identity and behavior are misaligned, tension appears. Tension drains consistency. Consistency is what rewires the mind. Identity alignment removes friction. Instead of forcing habits, you live them. This chapter helps you make that transition. The first step is recognition. Notice what you have already changed. You pause more. You notice thoughts. You move your body. You protect your attention. These are not small things. They are signals that your mindset is already shifting. Your brain responds strongly to evidence. When you acknowledge change, the brain updates self-image. Updated self-image strengthens habits. This is why noticing progress matters. Noticing is not pride. It is reinforcement. Reinforcement stabilizes change. Another important idea is language. How you talk about yourself matters. If you say you are trying to be calm, the brain hears effort. If you say you are someone who values calm, the brain hears identity. Identity-based language rewires faster. This does not mean pretending. It means recognizing direction. You are becoming someone who chooses awareness, someone who values balance, someone who protects their mental space. These statements shape internal expectations. Expectations guide behavior automatically. Another key idea is patience with integration. Identity change does not happen overnight. It settles slowly, just like habits. Some days will feel aligned, some days will not. Misalignment does not mean failure. It means identity is still forming. Formation takes repetition. Another important concept is trust. Trust yourself to return. You will not practice every habit perfectly. You will miss days. You will slip into old patterns. This is normal. What matters is return. Each return strengthens identity. You become someone who comes back. Coming back is more important than never leaving. Another challenge people face is old labels. You may still think of yourself as anxious, or unfocused, or inconsistent. These labels were learned during different conditions. Conditions change. Labels can change too. You do not need to fight old labels. You outgrow them through new behavior. Growth weakens old identity naturally. Another important idea is values. Habits stick when they align with values. Why does a positive mindset matter to you? Maybe it supports relationships. Maybe it supports peace. Maybe it supports purpose. When habits connect to values, motivation deepens. Deep motivation survives difficulty. Another challenge is external validation. People may not notice your inner change. That is okay. Mindset rewiring is internal first. External results follow later. Do not abandon inner work because it is quiet. Quiet change lasts. Another important idea is responsibility without pressure. You are responsible for your mindset, but not through force. Responsibility means choice. Choice empowers. Pressure exhausts. Empowerment sustains. Another challenge is comparing journeys. Others may seem ahead. Comparison distorts perception. Everyone's wiring is different. Your path is specific to you. Specific paths are effective. Another important idea is self-respect. Each habit you practice is a form of self-respect. Self-respect builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes mindset. Another benefit of identity alignment is reduced inner conflict. When behavior matches identity, the mind relaxes. Relaxation supports clarity. Clarity supports better decisions. Another challenge is life change. New environments may disrupt habits. This does not erase identity. Identity travels with you. You adapt habits to new conditions. Adaptation is strength. Another important idea is long-term thinking. Mindset rewiring is not for a season. It is for life. Life will bring stress, loss, change. Habits provide stability during uncertainty. Identity provides direction. Another challenge is over-attachment to structure. Habits are tools, not rules. When life demands flexibility, adjust gently. Rigidity breaks habits. Flexibility sustains them. Another important idea is integration. Habits support each other. Awareness improves focus. Focus improves self-talk. Self-talk improves emotional balance. This system becomes self-reinforcing. Reinforcing systems are powerful. Another benefit is emotional maturity. You respond instead of react more often. This maturity improves relationships. Better relationships support mindset. Another challenge is forgetting how far you have come. Reflection helps. Occasionally look back. Notice old reactions that no longer control you. This perspective builds gratitude. Gratitude reinforces identity. Another important idea is simplicity. You do not need more habits. You need to live the ones you have. Depth matters more than quantity. Another challenge is fear of losing progress. Progress is not fragile. Once neural pathways strengthen, they remain accessible. You may revisit old patterns, but you also know new ones. Knowledge does not disappear. Another important idea is self-compassion. Speak to yourself kindly as you grow. Kindness reduces resistance. Resistance slows change. Another benefit is calm confidence, not loud confidence, not performative confidence. Calm confidence comes from alignment. Alignment feels steady. Another challenge is boredom with practice. Boredom is a sign of familiarity. Familiarity means habit is integrating. This is progress. Another important idea is teaching by example. Your mindset affects others. Calm presence spreads. Awareness invites awareness. You become a reference point. Another benefit is meaning. Living with intention creates meaning. Meaning sustains effort. Another challenge is uncertainty about the future. Positive mindset does not guarantee outcomes. It improves how you face them. Facing well matters. Another important idea is choice again. Every day you choose, not perfectly, but consciously. Choice rewires identity. Identity rewires mindset. Another benefit is freedom. Freedom from constant reaction. Freedom from mental noise. This freedom grows gradually. Another challenge is trusting subtle change. Subtle change accumulates. Accumulation transforms. Another important idea is ownership. These habits are yours, not rules, not obligations, tools you use. Ownership increases commitment. Another benefit is inner stability. Stability does not mean no emotion. It means regulation. Regulation supports clarity. Another challenge is remembering that mindset is not personality. You can change mindset without changing who you are. You become more yourself. Another important idea is future orientation. The person you are becoming is shaped today. Small choices compound. Compounding is powerful. Another benefit is peace. Not constant happiness, but grounded peace. Peace supports resilience. Another challenge is impatience. Let time work. Neural change respects patience. Another important idea is celebration. Quiet celebration. Acknowledging growth without pressure. Another benefit is sustainability. This way of living is sustainable. It does not burn you out. Another challenge is letting go of old struggles. Struggles shaped you. Thank them. Release them. Another important idea is trust in yourself. You are capable of maintaining this mindset. Evidence already exists. Another benefit is clarity of direction. You know how to return when lost. Return is skill. Another challenge is remembering that mindset is dynamic. You adjust as life changes. Adjustment is intelligence. Another important idea is commitment without rigidity. Commitment anchored in values. Another benefit is emotional freedom. Freedom to feel without being controlled. Another challenge is future stress. Habits prepare you. Preparation builds confidence. Another important idea is legacy to yourself. You are building a mind that supports your life. This matters. Another benefit is gratitude for effort. Effort is invisible but real. Another challenge is fear of stopping. You will not stop. You will continue naturally, because this is no longer effort. It is identity. You are someone who notices, someone who pauses, someone who chooses, someone who cares for their mind. This is the real rewiring, not a switch, not a moment, a way of living. And as 2026 unfolds, this mindset will shape how you experience every challenge and every opportunity. Quietly, steadily, from the inside out.